I'm Kristen Trokel, and this is Thinking Thirsty. I'm thirsty. Have you ever wondered where your thoughts come from? Thoughts like, this chair's uncomfortable, or my nose itches, or even, I'm thirsty. Well, I happen to know the answer to that, and I think it's only fair to let you in on the mystery of what's underneath that luscious head of hair of yours, or if you don't have hair, of course. So here's the big question. How does it work? Well, let me tell you. Under that luscious hair, or skin, whichever you have, is obviously your brain, which is made up of all sorts of different sections with specific functions that communicate with one another to create or do. So, what section of the brain creates thought? Those thoughts you're having right now. A little over 10 years ago, no one really knew about anything. No one really knew about that pink wrinkly thing in your head. But science has made amazing discoveries since then. So, behind that pretty forehead, for some of you, is a thick skull like me, as well as a part of the brain called the frontal lobe, which is also known as the cerebral cortex. According to Brain Structure and Their Functions from serendip.com, the cerebral cortex is the largest part of the brain associated with higher functions, such as thought and action. The cerebrum is divided into 4 sections called lobes. The frontal lobe is associated with reasoning, parts of speech, problem solving, emotion, and movement. This lobe is the most specific whenever it comes to creating thought. So, how exactly does that work? The cerebrum communicates with various parts of the brain and within itself. It covers 2/3 of the structure and protects most of the brain. The biological aspect from the thinking process from thinkingbusiness.com says that brain cells communicate through chemical transmissions called neurotransmitters. They transmit nerve impulses across the synaptic gap. In other words, the brain cells communicate with each other through electrochemical process. Every time you think, a neuron, which is a brain cell, sends nerve impulses down the axon. The cerebral is divided into 2 hemispheres, the right and the left. The cerebral consists of folded bulges called gyri. Gyri create a deep fold called the solstice. Folds add to the surface, which increases the quantity of information that your brain can process. Obviously, thought is created in this section of the brain. The downside of thinking so much from Advent News tells a study about Dr. Ronaldo Solstice. The study proved that the way your brain is structured just cannot handle a lifetime full of creating thoughts. Each time you create a thought, it has a destructive cost, reducing the capacity for additional thoughts. Dr. Solstice proved that there are about 411,000 to 436 thoughts before you can no longer generate original thoughts. When in doubt, don't overthink and save your brain. All thoughts come from and form with the cerebral lobe. The cerebral lobe communicates within the lobe to form the very thing you're thinking at this very moment. So what is your cerebral forming to tell you right now? That you're uncomfortable, thirsty, hungry, or that you need a back massage. But don't overthink that back massage. I doubt anybody's willing to do that.